So I am on Romans. I'm doing just a short lesson to explain to people. It's Happy New Year's, everybody, and I hope y'all enjoy your New Year's. This is how I'm starting off my New Year's resolution, whatever they want to call it. In the Bible, studying my words, and we are on as immortality at the second birth. And I am on Romans chapter 6, verse 12 through 14. But I'm only doing 12 to 13 and 14. And I'm going to stop at that. Um, I just want to explain to y'all what I'm learning and, just to get knowledge, wisdom, and a better understanding of Christ's word. You can always ask God to give you more knowledge, wisdom, and a better understanding of His word, and He will give it to you. Which I said this probably in another video, but so I wanted to read it to y'all. So I am on Romans chapter 6, verse 12 through 14. Now it says on here, um, it says, "Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body," because we are mortal. This is what Brother Ronnie said. We are mortal. And let not sin reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. So, what he's saying is, let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, because when you think of sin, you're automatically going to think of sin in your brain, and then that's going to cause your body to want to do it. And we are in mortal bodies. We have mortal bodies, as he was explaining, but I also learned as I was reading through, it says, "Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead." So when he said was those that are alive from the dead, which I was just talking about this, you're walking dead when you're out of your Bible, when you're not following Christ, when you're not following his laws and statutes and commandments, you're walking dead. But when you start doing his Bible studies and following his commandments, his laws and statutes, you become alive. And when he says, yield ye your neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, because you're walking dead when you yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin. You're walking dead. But it says, "But yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead," because you become alive from the dead when you start following his laws, statutes, and commandments. You become alive from the dead. It says, "But yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God." So when you're not following Christ's laws, statutes, and commands, you yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin. But when you're following his laws, statutes, and commandments, you yield your members as instruments of unright. You yield ye your you yield ye your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. Not unrighteousness, but righteousness unto God. And this one, it says, "You yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourself unto God as those that are alive from the dead." Now, I hope that I'm explaining it right. But when you yield ye your members as instruments of righteousness unto God, you become alive. But you are walking dead when you yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin. So that's when you're walking dead. I hope I'm explaining it right. Let me explain it to y'all one more time. Yield when you're walking dead, you yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin. But when you become alive, you yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. So yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, you're walking dead. But yield ye your members as instruments of righteousness unto God, you become alive. Then it says, for sin shall not have dominion over you. Sin shall not have dominion over you. Satan shall not have dominion over you. For ye are not under the law, but under grace. What then shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. So we are not under the law, we're under grace. Doesn't mean that we're not supposed to follow his law, statutes, and commandments because we're under grace. Just because we're under grace, that does not mean, you know, that we don't have to follow his law, statutes, and commandments. We still have to follow his law, statutes, and commandments. Even if we're not under law, we're under grace now, under his law. I mean, even though we are not under law, that does not mean that we do not supposed to follow his laws, statutes, and commandments, or honor his Sabbath day from sun up to sundown. We still supposed to be the holy, for I am holy on the Sabbath day. You know, we still supposed to honor his law, statutes, and commandments. So I just wanted to explain that to y'all because I was just talking about this a couple of days ago about, you know, you're walking dead until you become alive, about somebody that was coming for me over a guy that they supposedly liked. And I was just, you know, saying, you know, miss me with all of that because you're walking dead right now. That's the last thing you should be thinking about as a man. You know, when you're walking dead right now, you know, when you pick up that Bible and open up that Bible and you become alive, then we can talk. But you know, but the rest of that stuff, you can miss me with all of that because my mind is on Christ right now, you know, not a guy. So you should not be trying to come for me over a guy. And that's where I was talking about walking dead and becoming alive. And what a coincidence that I jump inside of my Bible, immortality at the second birth, and it's talking about walking dead. It's talking about becoming alive. It's talking about that. Obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield ye your members as instruments. I mean, not cut off the neither part. Yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin. That's walking dead. Then it says, yield ye your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. That's alive because it's righteousness. And walking dead is unrighteousness. So I just wanted to explain to y'all. It might look like it's hard or you can't really understand it or get the knowledge, wisdom, and the better understanding of his word. But if you really read it and really take a look at it, it's showing you right there in your face. It might sound like it's hard, but when you really study it, and then you know other people that's older people that's in the church, they know, they just explain one little thing, you start automatically understanding it, you know. And then not only just that, prayer works. We're asking God to give you more knowledge, wisdom, and a better understanding of your word. That's going to also help on top of that, you know. So we do have I do have Bible study lessons with my church, with Brother Rodney, who is a good Bible study teacher. I love him. He's awesome. And he just give you a better understanding when you ask God for a better understanding. He's one of the guys that he's the head of the church. He's the pastor. He's everything. He runs everything. But um always pray to God first, and then God is what put Brother Rodney inside of my life for me to be able to get knowledge, wisdom, and a better understanding of His word. So that's how I know. That's how I have an understanding. So that's what I wanted to say. You're walking dead when you're not in the Bible, but you become alive when you start getting the knowledge, wisdom, better understanding of your words, and honoring His laws, statutes, and commandments in this Sabbath day. Be thee holy, for I am holy. So I just wanted to show y'all, take a good glimpse at it. Happy New Year's, and I hope y'all have a blessed New Year's, and switch up some of y'all New Year's resolutions that y'all had last year. Stop continuing to do the same thing and make the same mistakes with drinking and smoking and stuff. It's time for y'all to turn back to Christ and stop doing the same thing. To switch it up a little bit. There's nothing wrong with change. It's not. There's nothing wrong with change. It's not going to hurt you if you change a little bit. You can't make somebody change. I'm not forcing my religion on nobody, and I'm not trying to make nobody change. I'm just saying, it won't hurt. There's nothing wrong with change. So have a blessed day and stay safe. Happy New Year's.